And we are live. Good day. It's David, and excuse me. In the last hour, I was able to check off an item from my bucket list, my marketing and sales lifetime bucket list. And I was I was I had to go back and look at some of the things I have in my legacy story. Uh, a 73-year entrepreneurial journey as a publisher producer, providing marketing sales strategies. It was I sent a video email to Jay Abraham. Now, many folks who will see this video don't know who Jay Abraham is, but for those of you who will see it, well, and know, it was um, it was on my bucket list. It's one of the most thrilling things that I've ever done. I spent all day yesterday preparing for the email. Actually sent a teaser to the email yesterday at 6 o'clock. And I don't know if he'll read the teaser. Actually, the teaser was not a video, the teaser was just writing. And then the video had some writing, but it also had the video. It went out an hour ago. At any rate, I don't want to give you the exact reason why I was responding to it. That'll come later on. But what I will say, which is a public record, well, it's a public record. Last Thursday, I received an email from Jay. Well, actually, we're not on a first name basis yet. We will be. And I am sure that many folks got the same email that I did. Although I've been following him for 10 years, more than 10 years, probably 15 years, just because he is the number one individual marketing sales mind in business, probably. And I added a little laugh line, joke line to that I hope he finds funny. I did. At any rate, so you can go back to Gmail last Thursday, Google Gmail last Thursday, and well, if you Google Jay Abraham, you'll find out who he is, but I don't know if you'll be able to get his email. At any rate, he was asking, in his email, he was asking some very personal business questions, and he had a reason for doing that. And I took his questions, his search for information, very personally. So I told him, shared with him what I've been doing in the last 76 days that related to the reason why I was sending the video in the first place. So first, I want to thank Jay for creating the opportunity that I said, David, you got to do it. And I did it. And I had a lot of fun doing it. It was very, very enjoyable. And if you happen to see this YouTube that's going to get posted all over the place, different places I have, uh, thank you for creating that opportunity. And it was indeed a very pleasurable experience to take inventory of what's going on in the last 24 hours. So it was fun. So I did want to share. I told them about, well, the objective was to, wow, in the last 76 days, I have created 3 web landing pages: celebratebusiness.us. Last week, I created celebratebusiness.tv, and it probably was Thursday or Friday. I created celebratebusiness.expert. So obviously, the my theme for the last 75 days and the last 50 plus years has been celebrate business. And as this whole idea evolved with me, and it's been a work in progress for sure. Um, the process started uh, 3 years ago when I first created My Legacy Story. And from there, through the New World Institute for Creative Marketing and Sales was, I think, the first thing that was created. And then uh, that institute tested an idea where a postcard storyboard would be created. And this is my postcard storyboard, which I tested for. I tested it. Well, it's been an ongoing thing, but it got its hardest test um probably about 6 months ago. And from that, well, you will notice the key to it is, here's my story. This is my story, my story. This is a QR code, and you've all seen them. They're very popular. You can get a QR code on your television as you're watching the morning news and they're shopping, and you can shop with the QR code to your phone. I actually used my first QR code on my behalf probably in 2000, and not too long after 2000, probably 2008. I used it that was my calling card, my business card, calling card. My business card was my name, Small Biz David, on one side, and the QR code on the other side. That was it, and that's how I operated for a while. So, at any rate, we I created it, I tested it, and from that came up with the idea that we'll take this card, we will go into 41,683 zip codes with the business story of that zip code. That's the objective. And the original evolved into where we're now telling 11 stories on a card instead of just one story. And then it goes to a web landing page. I can't show you a sample of my web landing page, but if you go to one of the pages you just heard me mention and send a contact message to me, you'll have to have your email address on it. And if you say on the form, I'd like to see what you're talking about, I would be happy to send it to you once I know that. So, uh, told Jay about that, and he wanted to understand if there were any numbers, business numbers, sales numbers that could be attributed to uh, the last 76 days. And I responded that at the time of this video, there are no sales, but there are 3 proposals, very, very definite proposals, details spelling out, okay, you want, in one case, I was proposing as a test to a company 18 zip codes because they will gain a lot of great information about the consumer in those 18 zip codes. So that's why they would be interested in it. And if you are a retailer, you have the opportunity to, uh, well, your manufacturers would also probably get interested in the concept because their product is going out into that zip code, and they would pay for some of that. Well, I know they will. I was just joking, but yes. So it's I shared that with Jay, and also let's see. So and then I told him how much uh, expected revenue there could be in the one proposal to 18 zip codes, how much, and then I also told another video I did last week was to a Medicare health insurance broker here in Cincinnati. I'm getting sick and tired of the Medicare healthcare brokers on television fighting for zip codes. On television, they're fighting for zip codes and creating all kinds of commotion. And there's 3 different brokers that are doing that I know of. There's probably more than 3. And well, we've seen Joe Namath and JJ, and I can't remember the name of the third individual is who I just saw for the first time. At any rate, there's so much waste going on. And then I showed this broker the stack. It's over there of because I have a Medicare Advantage plan. I've had one for this is my 7th year, 66. This is my 7th year of having one. I got this thick mailings to my home in the last 2 weeks. And how many millions of dollars were wasted on inefficient, wanting the mass numbers kind of marketing as opposed to really focusing in the individual who's going to receive that, why they're going to receive that, and what the expected action is if they would receive that. There's a much more efficient way. And I shared that with you. And then I actually forgot in the video that I sent to him that I have also made available to any individual, sole proprietor specifically, if they would like to get their own piece single by themselves in their zip code let me know, and um, I will. I will make a special package available to the solopreneur. And there are millions of solopreneurs right now, thanks to the pandemic. There are many folks went into their homes, and many folks have never come back out of their homes when it's time for business. So something's going on, and I have a feeling that many of them have started businesses with their expertise and their experiences and whatever. So I've made a very special package available to them, and included in it is I will do a marketing sales triage and give you my feelings of where you are today and where you need to be today so you can get to tomorrow. And we'll create a web landing page around that, and that'll be how that will work for a solo, as opposed to waiting till we put a whole storyboard together of 11 different business stories, all about celebrating business. Uh, I I could not pick a better topic for me uh, to publish and to produce and to work on than that. Uh, I have been doing it for the 73 years that you heard me reference in a little while ago, that uh, my father had small businesses, which I actually ending up buying one of his businesses from my mother. And well, I told Jay, let me tell real quickly. I'm gonna skim because I had wanted to create a whole story thing. What did I do with my pointer? There it is. Real quickly, and because Jay asked me the question, so I told him uh, that was a excuse me. I served on uh, Governor Taft's Small Business Advisory Council in Ohio in 2003. 2000. It was 2003. The 3 years I served on it. It was a great experience. I was the only one on that advisory council of 25, I think there were, of us, that did not have a political affiliation. Everybody else got appointed because of their politics, and uh, I told actually the individual who sponsored me originally, he and I were, if I was to declare politics, he and I would be as far apart as two folks, almost as far apart as all the craziness going on in this country right now. And man, I voted last Tuesday. Yes, voted last Tuesday. I guess I walked up the street and voted, and I didn't vote for anybody over 62. I did not vote for any individual that participated on either side of the table with negative ads. I don't like negative ads. I never did. Actually, the only kind of ads I really have liked, I that's a card that I distributed for my father uh, when he was running for political office in my hometown. I took that card to every single household in our precinct in Canton, Ohio. I don't even remember how many households that was. I was 7 years old when I did it, and I gave folks that card and asked them to vote for my father. And my first campaign, marketing and sales campaign, and it failed miserably. My father, he got beat 2-1 at least, if not more. Wow, and he was in a political party, and obviously in that precinct, the wrong political party. That's when the party lines were fair and understanding and not changed so that this guy would win and we give away those votes, and this you're no longer represented by this individual, you're represented by this individual. Praises. uh, Publishing was very important to the conference. That article actually there was published uh, in 2002. I was on the front page of the um, Cincinnati business newspaper, the Business Courier, and they were asking me uh, what my prognosis was for business in 2002. And I got good coverage on that and good response. I got that was on the front page and it jumped to the inside back page, I think, or that was probably an ad. It was good coverage, and I got a lot of folks responded to that. Of course, that's my father. He was actually extremely responsible for getting me involved in publishing. Publishing was not necessarily in my what I wanted to do. As a matter of fact, it was my father's frustration in me not going to law school that he went in, called a publisher in publishing the same kind of publication he was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Uh, that man, that well, he actually wasn't publishing. He was he was opening up his pocket and paying. Uh, he we talked that afternoon. I mean, my father spoke with him in the morning. We spoke in the afternoon. He flew me down to Charlotte the next day, and I left Charlotte 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, whenever the plane left. I left with a job objective, an objective, a publishing objective. So my father found that, and 12 months, 13 months, 14 months after that experience, my father actually passed away. By that time, not only had I left North Carolina, I had spent 3 months in New York City. A publisher uh, strongly invited me to come to New York to build a marketing and sales department for his weekly uh, newspaper, which had a distribution of 10,000 households, which in New York City is nothing. Neighborhoods have 10,000 newspapers, but it was a very, very targeted audience. But the funny thing about that was 3, 4, 5 months after I left New York to go back to Canton to buy the publication from my mother because my grandfather told me to. He, um, that publisher in New York City, made a deal with uh, a an organization, and his weekly um, distribution went from 10,000 circulation, 10,000 to 100,000, and I had actually completed a sale a concept, a whole page concept I sold in the first in less than 100 days in New York City. So went back to Ohio um, in 1978. I put a team together of 15 wonderful folks, and on the first week in January, we launched Now in Stark County Magazine. Um, it was a we did a wonderful job. I was very proud of what we did. I was not proud of the bad business decision I made, but I survived. I made a very bad business decision. Went into uh, a bad period in my life, and I came back. Well, actually, uh, went back to Canton and came back out and got involved in direct mail, direct marketing, did a lot of that in 85, 86. And then I probably, well, this is just a copy, this is an artist rendering, a lamination of my book that was published in 2007, introduced New Year's Day 2008. But I'm really there's a really nice story that goes with that. Um, uh, I had a lot of resources. I had access to a lot of resources when I was publishing in North Carolina. My father did not have access to the same kind of resources that I did, and um, I created that cover uh, in North Carolina, and I sent the negatives in that time. In those times, where you printed with negatives and plates, and digital printing was just, I guess people were testing it back in those days. At any rate, uh, I sent that to my father, and that was maybe now. Well, it was definitely one of the last holiday covers that he published in Canton, and he passed away, as I said, in the next 13, 14 months. Uh, then finally, and the final thing I shared, because it actually is appropriate to the conversation to between Jay and myself. Um, that actually is my logo. Greeting with Entrepreneurs. It's a an artist rendering. It's it's a good representation of what Dreaming with Entrepreneurs is. But long time ago, I was having a conversation, a video, a live streaming with an artist. I think he actually was an American Indian, uh, and he was in North Carolina or South Carolina when we had the conversation, and he drew a caricature of me while the conversation was going on. And because we had never really had met too much before that, and he painted it and presented it to me, and it Dreaming with Entrepreneurs, which is the name of the company, and me, and da. Wow, my granddaughter Eloise, who is 9, she's my oldest grandchild. When she was 7, we have been video chatting since. Well, Eloise lived in Rome and New York City, and Knoxville, Tennessee, and now she lives in Dallas. And so she and my other grandchildren, we video chat. That's how we learn about one another. Actually, though, I am going it's confirmed. I'm going to Columbus, Ohio this weekend to play with my grandsons, ages 2.5 and 3, a little over 3, actually. Yeah, Max, 2.5, and there's less. The two of them are less than 9 months apart. Um, uh, and uh, Max, Max was into whatever he was doing yesterday, and Ari, he was rolling something off the table and catching it and doing a great job. But Ari was building a tower for me with his father. His father was participating also. So I told him this weekend we're going to continue the building of that tower and see how high we can make it. But Eloise, 2 years ago, when um, we were video chatting, and all the time she's been paying attention to what's ever going on behind, she asked me, uh, Grandpa David, what's an entrepreneur? And uh, I said, Eloise, that's about. Oh no, I wasn't supposed to do that. And everybody knows that's the sound of an American robin. Everybody knows that. Uh, it's not live flying around. It's a clock over there. Eloise, I told her that you can't begin to understand now how wonderful your question was, and I made a commitment to her that I would uh, mentor her, teach her, share with her everything that I know about it, and what a great thrill that is. So that was that. uh, Jay learned all those things in the video I sent to him. Now it's 2 hours ago, and hopefully, well, I told him that I wanted him to be on my display here. Uh, and so that means we have to be together and taking a picture. That's Michael Gerber and I in 2010. That's Brian Tracy and I in 2011. That's Lydia Bastianich and I, and that was a total accident in New York. She's a fascinating individual. She's Her net worth is well over $1 billion. She's a fascinating lady, and by accident, my son and I in New York were going to lunch at Italy, and found, and we had done an Italy in Italy, and found out, and I did not know until afterwards that um, Lydia is an investor in that, and she was in there signing books, and it was literally her last half hour, and nobody else was around, and she and I spent about a half hour conversing, and she's a fascinating lady. But I told Jay that as soon as he and I meet, I'm going to put a picture up there, and that'll be complete. Well, actually, not totally complete, but well, to find out how there's if you go to smallbusiness.tv, there are 3 videos there, and the 2 videos of David and Barbara, those are 2 folks that I have been live streaming with on the internet. Um, well, Barbara is over 14 years, and David is over 10 years, and they that's their wall. uh, TV, and they're also we created another web landing page, expert, celebrate business expert, and they'll be on there. So the last 75 days have been extremely busy and fun days. And once again, I want to, if Jay Abraham happens to be seeing this video, I mean, he's got his own video, but if he happens to see this one on anywhere where it's going to go, uh, thank you again. It was a fun experience, and I look forward to meeting you and collaborating with you. And we will see. Wow, was I long-winded today? We've been online for about 36 minutes, and if you're still here, thank you for your time today. Uh, Thank you for anybody's time for whatever time they spent here, and we'll see you the next time, which may very well be the best time.